This is Domestic Briefing right here on Top Accolade News. We're starting with a focus on politics. Former Kano governor and 2023 presidential candidate Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has dismissed speculations about leaving the new Nigerian People's Party, affirming at the party's 9th Inec meeting in Abuja that he remains committed while open to dialogues with other political stakeholders. NNPP National Chairman Dr. Ajuji Ahmed formally reaffirmed Kwankwaso as the party's 2027 presidential candidate, describing the NNPP as the beautiful bride of Nigerian politics. The party also praised Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's performance and urged Nigerians to obtain their permanent voters card. Still in politics, two opposition parties, the African Democratic Congress and Labour Party, have raised doubts over the figures released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, showing Osun State leading with nearly 400,000 new pre-registrations in its ongoing voters registration exercise. The ADC described the number as statistically impossible and called for a forensic audit, while the Labour Party warned Nigerians to be vigilant, alleging possible manipulation ahead of 2027 elections. However, Inec dismissed the concerns as unfounded, stressing that Osun has historically topped voters' registration trends and insisting the figures align with past data. Meanwhile, the APC and APGA defended Inec, saying its credibility remains intact, while the PDP in Osun noted the numbers could reflect growing enthusiasm for upcoming polls. Moving to economy, the Nigerian Immigration Service has announced a 100% increase in standard passport fees effective September 1st, 2025, raising the 32-page 5-year passports to 100,000, 64-page 10-year passports to 200,000, while charges for Nigerians abroad remain unchanged. The service says the review is to maintain passport quality and effective delivery, but the decision has sparked widespread backlash, with economic analysts and civil society leaders describing it as insensitive amid rising inflation and hardship. Critics argue the hike makes international passport elitist and reflects government's growing reliance on revenue generation at the expense of citizens, while others warn it could deepen social divides, even as officials insist the cost of production justify the new rates. Now in business, the Ethiopian government has signed a $2.5 billion shareholder investment agreement with Dangote Group to build a fertiliser complex in Gode, southeast Ethiopia, projected to produce 3 million metric tons annually. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said the project, jointly owned by Ethiopian Investment Holdings with 40% and Dangote Group with 60%, will boost food security, create jobs, and position Ethiopia among the world's largest fertilizers producers. Dangote Group Chairman Aliko Dangote described the deal as a shared vision to industrialize Africa and ensure food sovereignty across the continent. Now in power, the federal government, through the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, has waded into deepening crisis between state government and electricity distribution companies over tariff controls, summoning all stakeholders to a meeting in Lagos next week. The role sparked by Enugu State decision to slash ban 8 tariffs has seen discourse warn that states lack the authority to fix prices on power from the national grid, while states insist the 2023 amended Electricity Act gives them full regulatory powers, with customers caught in the crossfire of blackouts and billing disputes. Next says the closed-door talks will seek practical solutions before the crisis destabilizes the power sector. Now in education, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund has issued a stern warning to tertiary institutions, saying any school found falsifying student records, colluding with students to access loans, or failing to refund overpaid funds will face sanctions, including suspensions for further disbursements. According to its new operational guidelines, institutions must process and refund duplicated payments within 30 days, while those under investigation for misconduct may have disbursements halted. NELFund stressed that ongoing student access to loans will not be affected except in cases of confirmed overpayments. Still on education, the Academic Staff Union of Universities has faulted Education Minister Dr. Tunji Alausa for claiming the federal government had never signed any binding agreement with the union, only draft proposals. Speaking in Abuja, Alausa insisted that past documents cited by ASU were not formally agreements but proposals under negotiation, while stressing that President Bola Tinubu's administration is committed to resolving the dispute sustainably. But ASU President Professor Chris Piwuna countered that the statement reflects poor government record keeping as the union continues to demand better salaries, improved working conditions, funding, and university autonomy despite a recent 50 billion naira release for earned allowances. Now moving to security, the Rivers State Police Command has announced a restriction on human and vehicular movement from midnight to 6 p.m. on Saturday, August 30th, as part of security measures for the state's local government elections. In a statement, police spokesperson Grace Irinji-Koko urged residents to cooperate with security agencies for a peaceful and hitch-free exercise, assuring that operatives have been adequately deployed across land and waterways to safeguard voters. The command also advised the public to comply with restriction orders and promptly report any suspicious activities. Still on security, a police inspector was killed and several others injured during a violent clash between operatives of the Nigerian Police Force and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Amezie Community, Ivo local government area of Ebonyi State. Council Chairman Emmanuel Aja confirmed the incident, saying he was briefed by the local DPO about the confrontation. Eyewitnesses alleged the officer identified as Shadrach may have been mistakenly shot by his colleagues after police operatives opened fire on an NSCDC van escorting mining equipment. The victim's body has been deposited in the morgue, while the injured are being treated, even as both security agencies are yet to issue official statements. Now in crime, the Department of State Services has filed multiple charges at the Federal High Court in Abuja against 9 suspects linked to the June 13 deadly attack in Benue and Plateau States, which left over 40 people dead, many injured and hundreds displaced. The accused face terrorism charges under the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022, while others are charged with unlawful possession of firearms and aiding bandits with weapons and ammunition. The DSS also arraigned a 32-year-old woman accused of transporting over 300 rounds of live ammunition to bandits, while several others were indicated for buying and selling illegal arms. No date has yet been fixed for the arraignment. That is the domestic news update. For now, on to Accolade News. To stay with also more domestic updates and development, I am Blessing Bassi.